big round. Give a big round. Big round of applause. Big. Round of the hand. Give a big round.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to a very special edition of The Parents' Lounge. Jamie Kaler, Jason Gowan, Kate Mulligan, and our newest member of the cast. You might know him. It's bullshit. He's from Super Troopers, Tacoma FD. Steve Lemme joined us again tonight. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
I was going to do some crazy Lemmy joke from Motorhead, but it's old and it.
You know, I heard him the other day. I heard Ace of Spades the other day. Do you know that? Did I tell you the story that when he died, one of my good friends and writers on Tacoma FD woke up in the morning and was like, "Oh shit, Lemmy died," and his wife, who was British, was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, Lemmy died," and she was like, "How can you be so cavalier?" And he was like, "What? I mean, I liked her. Whatever. I mean, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, she's one of your best friends." Anyway. It was me. I mean, it was him.
She was like, he was like, he was pretty old. She's like, not really.
Not really.
No, he wasn't. What's wrong with you? Anyway, Motorhead.
I saw him one night. Did you ever go in the Roxy one night? He was always at the end of the bar with a jack in his hand playing. There was a little I think it was like a poker machine or something he played on the end of the Roxy.
I wish I knew about that. No, I didn't. I did watch his documentary. I mean, he lived in like a little, one bedroom apartment in Hollywood someplace.
Yeah. He was one of those guys who I don't know how they do it, but they feel more comfortable on the road with no home whatsoever. I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a nomad. He's rock and roll.
That is he's the death of rock and roll right there. Well, listen, it's our post Father's Day show. Thanks for coming on. I wanted to talk a little bit about how was your Father's Day, Steve?
Yeah.
Oh, my Father's Day was excellent.
What exactly? I want to know exactly what happened.
Okay.
It's like, so she tickled my balls. And then...
that comes at the end of the day, Kate. So it all really begins on Mother's Day. So for me, Mother's Day is an investment in Father's Day.
Oh, interesting.
Couldn't agree more, dude. Could not agree more.
Yeah. So for the last 3 years, what I've done, I'll probably invite you next year, Jamie. Like a few years ago, it was like a couple of couples. Mm-hmm. Like Carrie Clifford was there. Mm-hmm. And we get a couple of couples there, and then everyone waits on the moms. And so the moms don't lift a finger. They sit there, and 2 years ago, we did surf and turf, cooked filet mignon for lunch, and then Alaskan king crab legs for dinner. And then the children are serving them. They don't lift a finger. We ply them with alcohol. We prepare all this food, and then we clean it all up. And and the children are basically not allowed to talk to them. And so that's the investment in Father's Day. And so my Father's Day this year was, now we had gone to a birthday party for the British woman who said, "Oh my God, how could you be so cavalier?"
She must have been so excited to see you.
She was. I'm alive.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh my gosh, Steve, it's really nice to see you."
So that was Saturday night, and my wife and I got absolutely hammered. We drank Crown and Gingers, so that was great. The next day
That's a drink when you're like, I really just want to get as messed up as possible very quickly.
Yeah, which to me, knowing that Father's Day was the next day, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Because you get to lay on the couch and no one's going to bother you.
Not even the couch. So like, so I actually woke up at 6 and came downstairs and had a coffee. And then I went upstairs at like everyone came down. They hugged me, gave me cards, feted me. I went up to the room and I was brought a mimosa and 4 pieces of bacon.
Yes.
And so I had that.
So, by the way, that's so specific.
Yeah.
That's what I asked for.
Yeah. I want 4. It's like a last meal.
Just
the bacon
specifically
and a
asked for 4.
I did, Jason. I asked for 4 pieces of bacon.
3 feels like the exact right amount. So 4 is the Father's Day amount. You know what I'm saying?
You need a little bit more. You need to be oversaturated.
You also want that one extra piece that just sits there for an hour or 2, and then later you go, yeah, bacon.
You're not wrong. Because
no, I'm not.
You're not, because what'll happen is like after the mimosa, then I went back to bed and I had 3 pieces of bacon and I was like, all right, now I'm going to take the nap.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, the reason I asked for 4 pieces of bacon was because I knew we had 11:45 brunch reservation.
Okay.
Yeah. And Kate.
So you know your macros exactly. That 4 was going to tide you over till exactly.
Yeah.
I don't mean to yuck your yum. I love brunch, but I'm just, let's not even do anything.
I'm not a brunch person.
Okay.
I'm not a brunch person. And this is, listen, let's be honest, Kate.
Yeah. Let's.
The reason you don't like brunch is because you probably always have a hangover on Sunday. Is that correct?
How dare you read my diary?
That's what, like when I was a waiter and I
published it then, Kate. You published
I should know. You're right.
I mean, that stupid Kate's diary blog, we've all read it. It's garbage.
It's actually just Instagram, Kate, and you've been posting all that to all of us.
Posting it and we won't read it.
Every Sunday is the same, Kate.
Yeah.
Brunch people are assholes. We know this. I said brunch to make it a little bit more digestible for everybody. It was really just, when I was planning with my wife, I said, I want to go to lunch. And it was 11:45 or 1:30 were the times they had at my favorite restaurant in Calabasas. And so I was in the mood for soft shell crabs and I wanted to hit the ground running on my day.
Yeah.
And so, and I also knew I was going to sleep until 11:15, which is exactly what I did. I went back to bed. I woke up at 11:15. I saw that piece of bacon over there. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Didn't even shower.
Honestly, I don't know why people at night don't lay a couple of pieces of bacon next to their bed so that when they wake up there, it's like
I have a George Foreman grill in my nightstand, Jamie.
That makes a lot. They should sell the George Foreman nightstand is what
That's
they really
so
should
cool.
sell.
That's so cool, Jason.
Pretty great.
But wait, and what do you put in the George Foreman grill? Do you also have a little fridge?
I have a tiny little Iron Man freezer underneath it that I keep all of the things that I will make in the George Foreman grill.
That's such a good life.
It's so funny. Steve, we did a post for, we did a little monologue that went on Sirius all weekend. And that was like, rule 1 was keep it simple. We don't want to go to brunch. Brunch is your jam. We don't, just leave us alone. We want to go keep it cheap, keep us at home. And then, I mean, the third rule was keep it sexy, which basically was like, my wife would always be like, you're so hard to buy for. And I would be like, I'm the easiest person on earth to buy for. We're all pretty simple. We all just want one thing. It would take 5 minutes of your time, no money. I'm confused as to why that doesn't always, that's like rule 1.
Wow. Bragging about 5 minutes, huh, Jamie? Jeez.
I mean, tops 5 minutes. Any effort, 90
well, the first 4 minutes of that are his monologue, Kate. So I think.
Yeah.
The first 4 minutes are me placing pillows
instructions
appropriately. I gotta stabilize my back. I gotta get the whole thing in there. I gotta dim some lights. I gotta put music on. There's a whole beginning process.
Yeah, but Jamie's wife also just wants 5 minutes. She doesn't want more.
Dude, she doesn't want the 5 minutes.
I don't
Are you
want
crazy?
5. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, I normally, like last year and most years, I just say, let me sleep. I want to be left alone.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I'll just lay in bed and watch stuff and eat and drink the things that are brought to me. But this time I wanted to have soft shell crabs.
Well, that's your choice, and you get to choose that.
Yeah.
But typically, we don't get to choose. And so I actually had a landmark Father's Day this year. It was
I
life
meaning to ask
changing.
you about this. Yeah.
Life changing. I will tell you, Stephen. So months ago, my buddy reached out because we do this parents lounge. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do Father's Day at my stand-up club in Dallas?" And at first, I was like, "Oh, I couldn't possibly. What if I left town over Father's Day? That would be catastrophic towards my family." And then I talked to my wife for like 30 seconds. She's like, "Yeah, go for it." And so I went, thinking I would feel like a little guilt, so the whole weekend was going great. Sunday, I get up, I'm laying in my hotel room. It's freezing cold. It's like 65 degrees. I'm in heaven. I'm watching the US Open. There's no bacon, but it's still pretty great.
It's fine.
And so I felt a little guilty. So my wife, I called and she goes, "Oh, happy Father's Day." And Claire got on and Claire said, "Happy Father's Day." And she said, "Hang on a second. Let me get Hannah." And then there was like a 30-second, I heard some screaming, and then she came back. She goes, "Hannah's in the pool and she won't get out to wish you happy Father's Day." Stopped feeling guilty immediately. And I was like, oh, I'm leaving town every year. This is my new jam. And it was the greatest Father's Day I've had. Nobody was there, just me in a hotel room. And when I got back last night, they had made chocolate chip cookies. They had all the stuff they would have done Sunday morning. They just did it Monday night. And I've already booked my flight for next year. I'm going to be alone. It's our day. Why do we let other people control it?
No, you're right. I tell my wife says, "What do you want to do?" And I lay it out. If I just want to be left alone, I say, "I think I want to be left alone this year." I'll get that. But listen, I don't know what it is. Like, I mean, what my original wish was? I want the boys to come in and mush on me.
Yeah.
And then I want to watch a movie in bed with the boys.
Oh.
How many kids do you have, Steve?
2 sons.
You have 2 boys too.
Yeah.
How old are they that they see? My kids are still they mush every day, but your kids are past mushing every day.
No, they're 9 and 11. Like they're still.
Oh yeah. Okay, they still mush a little.
I just mushed with my oldest because she wanted to watch TV and she was bad all day and I was going to punish her.
I love that we've all agreed it's called mushing. By the way, this is a real example of yes-anding.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, Steve said mushing. We're all going to say mushing.
The mushing is the only thing that keeps us from selling them overseas, I feel like.
What country are you going to sell your children to? For me, it's
those 2 gingers. Are you kidding me? I could take them to Singapore tomorrow and I would make so much money. It's crazy.
I've been thinking Saudi Arabia for my boys.
Easily, dude. We should go. Like, just you and I should go. Maybe next Father's Day, we'll go on a little, check it out.
A sales trip. We can write it up. Yeah.
Exactly. We'll go for the convention, the selling children convention overseas.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, has got to be a real thing. That's got to be a real thing.
I was going to say, that's probably absolutely, without question, a real thing.
This podcast just got dark.
I mean, but also what was dark about it was how quickly you both had your answers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why I threatened my kids with. I'm like, if you don't quit fucking around right now, I'm going to sell you to the Saudis. They don't know what that means, but I tell them I could get a good price for them. My wife is like, "What do you think you're going to get for these 2 kids?" She doesn't. My wife doesn't understand. She's like, "Do you think you're going to get like $1,000 for them?" I think I'm going to get like 100,000.
Oh, easily 100,000, dude. Honestly, I mean, if you're going to do the whole thing, why don't you sell your wife too? You could get rid of all 3 and you'd probably make $500,000.
Holy
I mean, your wife's a smoker. Yeah, please. You could get rid of them all.
A package.
Well, I feel like also because they want the children, but they need a little like child care. And so that's where the wife comes in. It's a whole package deal. You probably get more for the package.
You're right.
It's like
and
the
truth
lawn
is,
set. It's worth more together as like a 4-piece than it is as just a 2-piece.
Agreed.
It's like an extra value meal.
That's exactly right.
Exactly. When they sit there and they go, "Look, it's only a quarter more for the extra large," and you go, "All right, fine. I guess."
Supersize me. Yeah.
I guess they'll the whole thing.
Yeah. My wife also makes the best sandwich in the world, which, by the way, was my dinner. It's usually my breakfast, but I had it for dinner because I also wanted that, but I didn't think I could have it. This is why I had the fucking bacon.
Can we play a game with you and each of us guess what's on your sandwich?
Yeah.
Just an item. Do you guys want to play this game or no?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Are we allowed to know how many meats there are?
Sure.
Okay. How many meats are there?
1.
Okay.
Well, it's turkey.
No.
I think it's salami.
I
Yes.
think it's a traditional black. Oh, it was salami.
It's peppered salami.
Wait,
Okay.
you're telling me you make a sandwich? You can't. Peppered salami it's a side meat. It can't be the prime meat.
Wow.
It's not
This
your
is also a
sandwich.
guy
I
that
would
thought
never
four
have
pieces. This you also thought 4 pieces of bacon was too much, Kaylor.
You wouldn't have a peppered salami sandwich, but you would have like an Italian sub with all of it on there.
You're making assumptions about the sandwich already,
Yeah.
James.
Yeah, wait. Of course I am. That's what we were guessing.
Okay, okay, so that's the meat. We gotta get. There's a lot of ingredients because he wouldn't be bragging about his wife making the best sandwich if it wasn't
Toasted
a lot of
brioche.
ingredients.
I'm going to go with a toasted brioche or a pretzel
Brioche.
bun.
Ooh, pretzel bun feels good. I think it's sourdough.
It's sourdough.
Jesus Christ, Kate. Are
Mulligan.
you making sandwiches for him?
Anyway, guys,
Listen, we traded diaries. I don't know what to tell you
Kate
guys.
and I
There's a
have
bit in
terrific-
here. Kate Mulligan, sandwich psychic.
Your favorite, by the way, your favorite sandwich is peppered salami on sourdough?
There's more.
It's not. There's
It's not.
more to it. You're
There's
making
more to this.
You're making an assumption here, Jamie.
Is there thinly sliced onions?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where you and I stop being in sync.
I mean, there's
Okay.
spicy mustard on it. There's got to be a spicy mustard.
I don't know about not a spicy, but maybe like a Dusseldorf.
No. What? Like no.
Not a Dusseldorf.
I don't know what a Dusseldorf is.
Pepperoncinis, maybe. I'd put pepperoncinis on a peppered salami.
Oh God, the cheese is the really clutch part here.
Pepper jack.
I think that's too much pepper.
Maybe a little heavy on the pepper.
Right, maybe like a smoked Gouda.
I'm going baby Swiss.
No, you're all wrong. It's American cheese.
Really?
Think about what I said. Originally, I was going to have it in the morning, but I knew we were going to lunch, and so I didn't want to fill up. So I had my morning sandwich for dinner.
Okay,
There's an egg on it.
there's an egg on it.
Bingo.
Okay. So there's the protein. There's the protein.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's not a meat sandwich; it's an egg sandwich.
It's an egg sandwich. Okay.
Is there heavily laced cannabis sauces? Can't
Yeah.
mix in it. Honestly, I
feels.
Can't mix them. No, but would you like to know the sauce?
Yeah. I'm
aioli,
hoping it's
garlic
like a
aioli.
Double sauce. It's a double sauce. It's a garlic dill sauce.
Ooh.
Oh,
Also, Cristal hot sauce on it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. All right, I can't abide by the American cheese, but everything else falls in place.
Are there any vegetables on? Like, do you get like a lettuce, like a shredded lettuce? No.
There's a
Once
lettuce.
There's the egg.
There's a lettuce and a tomato.
On an egg? I can't.
It's
Bro.
an heirloom. It's an heirloom tomato.
Bro, this shit is delicious. It's the best sandwich on the planet. I had it. Check this out. I had it for my dinner on Father's Day.
Mhm.
I had it for breakfast today.
Okay.
And my wife was like, "What do you want for dinner tonight? Like after you do the podcast?" And I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "Do you just want another egg sandwich?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And she's like, "Why do I even ask?" I was like, "I don't know."
I mean, you really are covering all 4 food groups.
It's
You
also
should
just-
what did that guy do? He did Supersize Me and he ate McDonald's for like 30 straight days. You should eat this sandwich for like a 30 straight day period and see how it affects your body.
well, I can speak from experience that it doesn't go well.
Well, I was gonna say, I think he might become a superhero.
I
For
feel
being
like
honest, I don't
think it's gonna be a
think he's
problem.
ready for those muscles.
It's so weird, Kate. I literally was about to say, I think I'd be a superhero. This is
you
fucked
guys
up.
are so on the same. Hey, okay, so just so there's a lot of people out there who probably didn't have the greatest Father's Day like you or I. So maybe we should have one of us talk about their Father's Day to maybe remind people that not every
Holy
Father's
shit.
Day goes the way
Holy
you
shit.
expected.
Oh,
On
he's an
cue.
angel.
Shut your mouth.
We were just talking.
Why the egg sandwich? Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
Look at this shit.
I mean,
Dripping.
come on.
Oh
Yo,
my God.
Well, I
All
just
right.
eat from
That
6
looks
to
pretty
midnight.
She soft boils it
Yeah.
Holy
No, I
shit.
tried it, but it's called over light.
over lights. Oh my God, because I love a runny yolk.
I'm such a slut for a runny yolk. I'm so
Oh,
she is.
Where did you learn this?
all right. Have fun.
What's that, Jason?
I said, where did she learn this
Oh,
witchcraft?
dude, I don't
This is
know.
a Cuban sandwich.
She's Cuban.
Oh,
Whatever
yeah.
restaurant. I knew it was a Cuban. I knew that was a Cuban restaurant.
She's dancing over here. She knows it's good.
Dude,
Thank you.
whatever
Yeah.
restaurant you're eating at tonight, I applaud. That
this
looks.
is the sexiest show we've ever done.
I mean,
Yeah.
truly. Do we
This
have
was
to
incredible.
rate this?
Are you doing the show from Hooters? That's a smoke show waitress
Oh
coming
my
up
God. What a babe.
You know that my wife used to bartend at Hooters?
to you. No, but that makes total sense.
Yeah, she went to University of Florida in Gainesville. She was Gator Girl.
right.
Oh, that's part of going there. Yeah.
My wife
Yeah.
sold those Jello shots in bars, I think, or she was a Bud Light girl or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lexi Rue Goble. What a woman. It's true. She's the best
is.
cook in the world.
Ugh.
When I was in Dallas, I was staying in a hotel and I was like a block away and there was a Hooters and I was like, oh, that's still a thing. We're still doing that. Hooters is still a thing, I guess.
Apparently, so this is my cousins were just in, and everybody was shocked that I'd never been because they're like, the food is actually amazing.
The food is
Is-
not amazing at all. The food's awful. What are you talking about?
No, it's
Well,
great.
I'm not talking about it. That's what my
You're saying
cousins said
Hooters
to
food
me.
is fantastic?
I literally just said to you, I've never been there.
No, I'm talking to Lemmy. Lemmy
Oh,
just
okay.
said it was. Lemmy said it's great.
Yeah, it's great. First of all, Hooters is a family restaurant.
Agreed.
It is.
Because-
Kids eat free at Hooters. Hooters is a family restaurant, and their buffalo chicken sandwich is phenomenal. I know, Jamie. I know.
I
This
mean,
is-
it could have been
it's a
called
bad rap.
bazongas, or it could have been called, fun bags. I mean, it's called Hooters, dude. I guess Hooters is like, maybe they're looking at it instead of like a sexy way, like these are the nourishing vessels of life that give all life to humans, and so maybe that's the use of Hooters is that way, and it's not supposed to be sexualized in any way.
They also have a wonderful scholarship program for their girls, Jamie. How dare you?
Also, I do want to clarify when it says kids eat free, there's an asterisk, and then it says if they breastfeed, and then you can actually just breastfeed on any of the waitresses. You just can hand them off. So that's how
That's
they
a
eat.
fucking lie, Kate.
No, you got look it up. Look it
Dude,
up.
you gotta look it up.
Don't
I
call
don't
me
have
a
to.
liar. Look it up.
I don't have to.
Steve. Oh! For those of you who are listening on iTunes, Steve Lemmy just pulled out his Hooters VIP card. Is that your name actually on it?
Yes, motherfucker.
He's got a Hooters VIP card. When's the last time you were actually in a Hooters?
The way he buried the lead
morning.
on this.
Camarillo.
I was. It was 2018. I used to there used to be a Hooters next to Flappers Comedy Club down in Burbank. I know you know that.
Oh, that's right. There
I completely
was.
forgot that.
That's
And there
That's
was
where
also
I live, Lemmy.
at Flappers.
Yeah, I live at Flappers. Yes.
Oh, that's nice. It's a big
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Um,
Barbara's totally normal.
hold on. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to disappear from the screen for 30 seconds.
It's all right because we're going to get started on Jason's Father's Day, and
Yes.
we'll let you join in progress.
Oh no, it wasn't good.
Well,
It was non-existent.
What are you talking about?
Someone forgot and didn't do anything
maybe
at
you didn't
all.
forget, but maybe you had alluded to the fact that you wanted to be left alone. So, Steve, Jason says his Father's Day was non-existent.
Who forgot?
But a lot of times we tell our wives we just want to be left alone. So maybe she took that approach.
It was almost as if I didn't even live here mostly, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's fine.
You didn't get a Cuban sandwich served in bed?
I did not. And the children attacked me per usual, and there's a lot of violence towards me per usual.
So are you coming on the road with me next year?
Oh, without question. I will
yeah.
leave. I'll leave tomorrow.
That's what I thought.
I feel like I would argue this is the darkest portion of the show. I think the selling the children was somehow more lighthearted than Jason's actual confession that his wife.
Because it was
did
a
not-
joke.
Because it was a joke. Yep.
This
Thank you.
one has an air of seriousness to it. Like
Whoa.
where he's like, I didn't.
That was the Cristal hot sauce just got added on this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
ooh, that one stung, honey.
And all
So
through the
Travis Gilbert says, I relate so much to Jason currently. I would say so.
Melissa.
Let me tell you my past years before this year. It actually was kind of the reason I go, because every year it would almost turn into a fight on Father's Day of like, you're so hard to buy for. We didn't know what to do for you. And I would be like, well, here, just don't pick a fight with me. And so I've had some bad Father's Days, but I think other stuff was going on or something or other. But yeah. And so when I left, I was like, I did feel guilty for a heartbeat. And then I was like, I'm over that. I honestly think Father's Day, it's our day. We're supposed to be able to go do what we want to do, like trim hedges.
For the audio listeners, Steve Lemmy's returned with
it's an edge
large
trimmer,
tooth edge trimmer.
Yeah, my wife got this for me for Father's Day.
Oh, I got some clothes and some truffles, but
she's the greatest woman ever born.
Or is she telling you? Were you asking for that?
I didn't. This was a surprise because here's the thing: there's this hedge in my backyard, and I'm always looking at it, and I'm always like, "What the fuck?" The gardeners like they can't make it fucking straight. Like they can't. It's like this, or it's like that, and I'm like they don't care about the work that they do. That they don't want to make it. So I'm always bitching about it. I've been bitching about it for like 2 years. And my wife got me this head. I should take the computer outside with me and show you what I've been doing the last 2 days. Like this was one of the reasons I was getting cranky coming in here is like with the technology aspect is because like my wrist, like my forearms are trembling with muscular tension from the amount of hedge trimming I did today. Like leading up to this podcast.
You have a little bit of sympathy for the gardeners now. Like I feel like this is the thing. I remember Tina Fey talking about how she was always so mad that the nanny like would always cut her child's like her kid's fingernails would be bleeding. And then the first time Tina Fey tried to do it, she's like, okay, yeah, no, it's really hard. Like her kid was just bleeding everywhere. Like when they're babies, you know. Do you have a little more sympathy now? Are you like, okay, I understand. It's kind of hard to trim the hedge. I understand why it's not.
No, because it's actually really fucking easy. Like I you know, Kate, I feel like I'm swearing at you a lot this evening.
Can I tell you something? It's just I deserve it.
Listen, if the gardener was
guys, I fell down the stairs.
Okay, if the gardener was a guy who like lived in the neighborhood and said, "Hey, do you mind if I trim your hedges and stuff? And I'd like to help you out," I'd go, "Yeah, I feel bad for him." But when you're paying somebody to do a job, no, I don't feel that bad because I've had jobs and you know, I empathize with the situation, but no.
Yeah, it's like if people come to see you do a stand-up comedy show, and you just do an okay job.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. Like these guys
just try to get through it. That's all. As long as as long as nobody gets killed, I guess it's a good show. That's really my mantra.
Yeah, you had a couple laughs, so
couple.
Because you know what I discovered? All you have to do is step back and look at it, and then come in for a second trip up and down the line. Actually, it's a pretty nice cut.
Maybe instead of feeling bad for those gardeners, you should fire them and get some new gardeners because they're not doing their job. They think you don't notice, but you do.
Are you talking to me or to Kate?
No, to you.
So what I want to do is go out there on Thursday when they come, because there's another hedge that is fucking slanted. I want to go out there and cut it and just look at them the whole time. Make it straight and then fucking put my thing down and walk into the house.
Yeah.
Without a word.
You should Edward Scissorhands it and make like a flamingo or something really cool. You know?
Already I'm looking at like you know how it is when you get these power tools.
Yeah.
Like now I'm looking at everything I want to fucking trim.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Who was it? Who somebody said you should use it to cut your sandwich in half.
Yeah, somebody said it earlier.
Where's Travis Gilbert says, in fairness, my wife did give me the worst shirt ever the night before to wear to church. He goes, a lot of the wives got together and got their husbands to wear these bright blue shirts. That was pretty funny.
Oh, so they all showed up.
So again, it's not Father's Day. It's mothers enjoying Father's Day. No, I'm out. From now on, Father's Day is my day. I'm gone. Oh, I'm sure Hooters makes fantastic vodka. You know that.
For the audio listeners,
go ahead.
Hey,
Steve Lemme.
Speaking of alcohol, can we chat about alcohol for 2 seconds?
Has pulled a vodka bottle, a Hooters vodka bottle.
Kate, tell the listening audience.
To the audio listeners, a Hooters vodka bottle has popped up. And wow, I never realized how titty-like the Hooters eyes actually are. The owl's eyes.
They are
really, they're really like they really gilded the lily on that one.
That owl's eyes are totally high beam in it.
Yeah, they're tits. They're tits.
The owl's cold.
I won't say that. So Steve has joined the list of celebrities to get involved in the alcohol industry. Is that that's a good way to put it? I mean, it's either George Clooney and tequila, I believe, or Ryan Reynolds and gin.
Yeah.
Or Bryan Cranston even tried, I think, tequila
Meth?
with Breaking
Yeah.
Bad, Aaron Paul or whatever. And now Steve Lemme has entered the realm with Rhino Dart.
Correct. Rhino Dart.
Rhino Dart.
Tell us about, I mean, it's basically, I love it. It makes me laugh so hard. But I've told him, I go, that's for people who, want to get tranquilized, I feel like.
I was going to say, I feel like this is a gummy I should take.
It is a Rhino Dart is a cocktail one of my best friends used to make from high school, and it was so strong. He put a secret ingredient in that was that masked the taste of the alcohol. So anyway, we decided to can it, and so we launched.
Genius, by the way,
Yeah.
to take this insane drink you made in high school. You know what everybody needs? Rhino Darts. I love it, man.
Yeah, and we called it that because it made you, it could tranquilize a rhino. Exactly. But so basically it's an agave citrus cocktail. And the secret ingredient is wildflower honey. And
Wait,
so
you can't tell the secret ingredient.
No, but it's on the can. It's on the can.
I guess you can't have secret ingredients anymore in cans of liquor.
What's the ABV per can?
You're going to die when I tell you.
I'll probably die when I drink it. Let's be honest.
14%.
8%.
Oh.
Which is ridiculously high, actually.
It actually is high. It's twice as high.
That's but like
the high noons and the cut waters are like 6.5.
Honey would be such a gamble for me.
The Moscow mules I drink are 12.
Yeah.
On Saturday night. That's why you don't like brunch. That's my point. Okay, sorry.
Killing them.
Sorry. It's 8%. You got a 12% Moscow Mule?
Girl, do I need to go get it?
Yeah, go get it.
Yeah,
Well,
I actually did. I think you do. I think it might be 6%, which is 12, right? My fave is 6% alcohol volume. Yeah, I agree, Sky. I agree. Like a Cutwater or a High Noon are usually around 6, I think.
Yeah, I actually think they're not even that high. But the wildflower honey covers the taste of the agave, and so it's actually a really sweet, nice cocktail.
When we were in college, we used Everclear. Do you remember the Everclear? It was like,
oh yeah,
like
dude.
poison. It was like 160 or something.
Yeah, see, we did that in high school. Like
90 proof, which was like a 180 or something. And we'd make it in a trash can.
181.
Yeah,
181 proof.
With and we would just put Kool-Aid, but mostly just the powder and then a little bit of water. It was the worst thing you've ever drank, but literally a half a glass and you'd be like dancing your ass off. It was pretty.
You didn't even care then. Yep.
And you'd vomit your brains out later on.
Oh, and the hangover was fucking awful.
Cataclysmic. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Even at that age, nowadays it would just kill me. I wouldn't survive it.
It's funny that when you invited me on the podcast tonight, and I was like, okay, so I'm probably gonna have cocktails, and it's this little dance that I do now every time. It's like, well, do I do beer? And I'm trying to get back in shape, and the beer does not help. So I'm like, or do I do whiskey, which will make me a lot more sluggish? Even like one will affect me the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing more to go on with this story. I chose beer, but I guess it relates to the.
Are you back and you're getting in shape? I mean, we're going to be on strike soon anyway, so I don't feel like I'm going to be working for a while.
I don't think we are going to be on strike. I don't think our union's strong enough to do it.
I'm already on strike.
I know. Listen,
I'm already
my
on strike.
household
I mean,
is
you're
too.
already on strike, but you're going to be on double strike at the end of this month.
I really am.
From your mouth to God's ears, because then all the
Which
strikes
is
will
kind
end.
of a blessing that Tacoma FD is already in the can and premiering
July 20th.
July 20th, like a few weeks. It's away, yeah.
Yeah,
and
4 weeks.
This new season is, I mean,
The new
I always
season.
find season 4 is when you're locked and loaded. You guys were on autopilot. When I showed up to shoot, I was like, I thought the blood bank episode it was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Both episodes. You're also in the courtroom episode,
Yeah.
which precedes the blood bank episode. It's kind of
It's crazy funny.
It's excellent. And the blood bank episode, which is the season finale, is fucking fantastic
Yeah, I think so too.
and ludicrous.
I do want to circle back. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I was wrong. but I will tell you what I was thinking of. This one's only 10.
Oh, geez.
The copper
10
can.
10's
But I
still
will
pretty high.
tell you that it's the Cutwater Mai Tai is 12.5. That's also what I drink.
The
And
guy
I would-
actually,
I
the
would
Mai
like-
Tai is the hard. It's the most alcoholic one.
I was like, I had a can. I was like, oh, it's not a 3-can night. That's for sure.
Does it taste good?
Yeah.
They're actually pretty good. That's
They taste-
yeah, they're pretty good. And it's so that's the new market. That's why I was so impressed when I saw that you were coming out with Rhino Dart, dude. I think
I'm going to get Rhino Dart now.
it's
I mean,
genius. Yeah, actually, really quick because people will hear
Where
this
can I
on
get it?
on iTunes. Where just rhinodart.com. Where do they find it?
Rhinodart.com is where you can buy merch, like the hat, and we've got hoodies and a bunch of cool stuff. The truth is, we just launched 6 weeks ago, like April 12th. And so it's only available in Nashville right now. Like it's the company started in Nashville. So we're in 8 counties in Nashville. We'll go to all of Tennessee, and then it'll be Kentucky and Illinois. And also our distributor has a deal in Los Angeles. So Los Angeles will probably be like the 4th stop. But it's kind of cool. It's like it's just a new venture. And it's like, and we're not backed by, Anheuser-Busch. And there are these liquor laws, which are that you can't transport shit over from state to state. And so it's like from my house, I can actually see the Budweiser distillery here in the valley. And it's like, I can't
believe you live on the 405. That's wild. I thought it was wild. I lived in Flappers, but you live on the 405.
I'm under a good overpass. It's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
it's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
I mean, it's right near the LA River. It's got a lot of egress there.
Yeah, there's a book drop for people. It's right here. It's
Okay,
awesome.
Pretty great.
Can you guys believe that my sandwich is just sitting here?
I actually don't. It's been bothering me. I'm like, you're letting it get cold. The cold, you gotta just.
I honestly haven't thought of anything else since it came in the room. I just have been thinking about the sandwich.
Why don't you eat it? It's okay. We're not gonna. For the audio listeners, he's gonna eat a sandwich.
No, here's another picture.
So we talked about Tacoma FD coming back, Rhino Dart. Everyone, oh my God, that's hilarious.
The audio listeners, Steve Lemme has pulled a picture of himself out, dressed as basically a Mountie, and everyone else.
He's with 3 smoking Hooters, and one has a mustache.
But
honestly, she's
one of them is his wife.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? So this is from Super Troopers 2. We had a cross promotional deal with Hooters, and they released a special Snosberries sauce in their restaurant, and that's how I became a Hooters VIP. So let's just go back to the Hooters girl with the mustache. Is there? I have like a particular perversion. I think I love it when girls put fake mustaches on.
Absolutely.
Is that weird? Is that weird?
Let me ask you this, Steve. Back in the day, I know there's a big drag issue these days, but I went to a few Halloween parties in drag in the same way that women back then would dress like in 8.5 weeks or 9.5 weeks. She dresses like a dude, and Kim Basinger is
a mustache,
so blindingly hot with the hat. And
Mickey Rourke says, "You are so fucking beautiful."
Yes, and
That's
yes, dude. Diane Keaton had those outfits on with the ties and stuff. I think it's awesome. So if you went to Halloween and you were a guy dressed in drag, it was the best because it's the same way they like Johnny Depp or DiCaprio. They like a little feminine. Women like a little femme in their boys, don't you think?
Oh, I did. I did a lot of cross-dressing on Halloween. I was a nun one time. Another time I was Queen Amidala.
Oh, do you have pictures of that? Because I'm a big Star Wars nerd, and if you really pulled it off, and you went as Amidala, not Padme.
Amidala with the red stripe down the fucking lip and
So you did it. Okay, you did it.
Oh, I did it.
You don't even have to be hot. I was Baby Spice one year, and they started calling me Ugly Spice. We 5 of us went as the Spice Girls. It was at O'Brien's. It was insane. It was the greatest. And when you're in a group together, that's like Halloween magic, right? When people want to be part of your group, and all 5 of us were the Spice Girls.
And you were you were Ginger Spice, right?
I was Ginger Spice. Yeah. I didn't even wear a skirt. I just showed off my fire patch, and everyone's like, "Oh, Ginger Spice." And I go, bingo.
Yeah.
I did have to tuck. I tucked and I pulled my shenanigans back. So, so I really looked like Ginger Spice, really looked like her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see it a little bit. I can see it.
Yeah. She's Jerry Halliwell. Yeah. Like her a
What's
lot.
your best Halloween costume ever?
Jason
We
got a lot of
we were
good
all
ones.
Batman one year, and I was the Riddler. There was like maybe I think the best costumes are when you're in groups, and I was the Riddler in college, but there was 20 of us. One guy was Commissioner Gordon. He had the phone. There were people in like POW and BAM signs, and we
Nice.
went to like few parties, and we took over. Like it was the best. But yeah, what about you?
I always enjoyed dressing up as the ladies. Queen Amidala was a big hit. I went as when the People versus Larry Flint came out. I went as Larry Flint, and rented a wheelchair, and had like the army hat on.
Talk like this all night.
Well, the funny thing was, that I was like pretty early into this like amazing Halloween party. I realized that people actually thought I was in that wheelchair because like women were coming up and be like, "Do you need anything?" And like just like hot women were coming up and just talking to me for no reason. You know, when you're and crouching next to the wheelchair and being like, "How you doing?" Like I'm like pretty good, and you're like, they clearly this is a sympathy conversation here. Like they think. And when I actually finally got up to go to the bathroom, a dude came up and hugged me and was like, "Oh, fucking A, like God bless you for getting out of that chair." That was a pretty fun. That was a fun one.
Plus, it's a great party because you get to sit down the whole night. You don't have to stand up. That gets old. You know what I mean?
And get wheeled around by my friends.
Yeah, that's pretty great, man.
Yeah, and wheel yourself around, like you know. Yeah, I didn't. That's another question. I want to hear about Jason and Kate's Halloween costume, but like
Jason's legit.
Jason, you should see this. I mean, you've seen it's in the opening shot, the opening song. It's got the photo.
The Buzz
Well,
Lightyear.
my favorite costume was when I was Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, look at him.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
That guy was attached to the front of him. So that's the weird part.
I'm so
That
curious.
is-
Is it Buzz Lightyear in the Human Centipede? What's happening
Yeah.
here?
So that was a Miley Cyrus when twerking started, and she was twerking on Buzz.
Your face is it. That's it. There it is.
Well, she was she was a dangerous Miley Cyrus for sure.
I'm sorry. Could you pull that picture up real quick? Because there's a guy in a sombrero, and I need to know who this guy is. We gotta cancel him right now.
Can I make an offensive joke? Can I make an offensive joke?
I'd be offended if you don't.
Can you put it back up for 1 second? Because I would have gone as Buzz Heavier, but I'm so sorry. That's a terrible.
Wow.
Terrible.
Wow.
I know.
What
I went
a
too
dick.
far. What too far. What too far. Dude, the Iron Man one's the best one you've made so far.
Let me find it.
It's incredible. He made an Iron Man costume like Iron Man made one. It's pretty amazing.
The other thing, if I'm not dressed up as a woman on Halloween, I like to go face in whole costume. I went as a Christmas tree one year.
I don't.
With my face in the hole. I went as an ice cream cone 1 year with my face in the hole. And actually, I realized the best costume I've ever done. I have a squirrel costume, with two acorns, which is just fucking phenomenal.
We're gonna have to pull out all the pictures when we get to Halloween because
Here's the Iron Man.
Dude, look at this one, Steve.
It's phenomenal.
I mean, that's legit.
That is
I built reed sensors into the finger so that when I clicked my fingers together, the helmet would open, and it did sound effects, and my voice had a microphone and everything.
Jesus
Dude,
fucking-
it's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy.
It was made out of yoga mats.
We only have Steve for a limited time. I have a lot of topics I want to talk about. Hey, I watched Beer Fest recently. I remember texting you from the road, and they talked about Pot Fest. At the very end, they go, Pot Fest is coming.
Yeah.
Is that Pot Fest needs to come? What's happening?
You know, we've been talking about it a lot, and Willie just turned 90. We have a general idea for the movie. Like, it's funny because the Warner Brothers initially didn't think that Potfest would make any money. First of all, it was a joke, and then all these people were like Willie was like, "I'll do that fucking movie," and Snoop Dogg was like, "I'll do that movie," and 50 Cent was like, "I want to be in that movie," and so and a few other famous Hollywood stoners came forth and were like, "We want to do that."
Woody
movie.
Harrelson would be in it.
Yeah, and so I mean that's I don't want to say what the plot is, but
No.
we have a plot. But there was a feeling back then that a pop movie capped out at like $30 million, which is like, for me, a ton of money, but for the studios, I guess, is not. But now that pot's legalized, there's a feeling that, potentially it could do better than that. So that's something we are talking about. But we just have to quickly come up with a plan. And we've been talking about it. We're going to do Super Troopers 3.
I agree, Travis. I mean, I love Super Troopers, but Beer Fest makes me laugh so hard.
I think Beer Fest is our
Beer
best
Fest's
movie.
my favorite of them all.
Beer Fest, like the first 10 minutes is like exposition and stuff, but once those guys get to the Beer Fest, to me, the next like 90 minutes is solid. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in the movie. It's like every scene is fucking great.
It's really funny, man. And you milk so much out of the other teams. It's really well done. Yeah, man. It's by far my favorite. I love them all. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm finding my squirrel costume, by the way.
You should do I mean, you could even do like Heroin Fest or Fentanyl Fest for like, that you can make that super cheap. Just a bunch of dudes.
It's a short movie. They die after they take their first hit.
Maybe it's a short. Maybe it's like a 3-minute film. You guys, you get together and then you do some heroin and fentanyl, and then it's over. It's over very quickly.
You can almost shoot that short and put it in the beginning of one of Pop Fest, the movie, and do it like a Pixar short.
It's actually, yeah.
By the way, that is how I felt about Bow.
Or put it after the credits. It's that short of a movie. It's literally after the credits. It's just a closing scene of like, welcome to Fentanyl Fest, and everybody just goes and drops.
We were
dark again. You feel it?
It's so dark. We were gonna do Beer Fest, then Pot Fest, then Coke Fest, then Fuck Fest. It was gonna be a quadrology. Here's a picture of Sting hitting on my wife at a party.
I don't know how to tell you this. He was actually inside her in that picture.
He was definitely doing a tantrum. He whispered to me, he was like, "You're beautiful, darling," and he was massaging like the web between her thumb and index finger. Like he was definitely trying to get tantric on here.
That's fun.
Do
people actually call him Sting, Steve? Are they like, "Hey, Sting"?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And here's
call him. Is the finale of the series Sober Fest, dude? That would actually be really funny. At the end, it's all just you guys in a rehab. Yeah. That's really funny, Katie.
So I'm just looking for this fucking. What's really challenging is not putting on your glasses to try to find a photo.
What? Yeah. Why are we avoiding the glasses?
Because I'm lame and I don't want the audience to think I'm weak.
Okay. They could think you're a superhero, Superman. Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
You look good on those.
I have one more question for you guys about Father's Day.
Yeah.
So I saw this story on CBS Sunday Morning, because that's what old people watch on Sunday mornings, and it was a woman whose father he was killed in a car accident when she was younger, and then they found a list of his. They found his bucket list after he passed. And so she wrote a book of her going out and accomplishing all of his bucket list.
Wow.
And I wondered about that because I don't have a bucket list. Do you guys have an actual list that you think about or wrote of things that one of them was like, talk to a president. One was jump out of an airplane. One, whatever they had. Do you guys have bucket lists that
I will tell you
want to accomplish?
Yeah, I will tell you, I do not, but I could tell you that if my husband had any list, it would be a fuck it list, and I would find it, and it would just be all the people he wished he had fucked, and then I'd have to go around and fuck them all for him, because we're doing whatever we want, but the only thing we're not doing is fucking the people we want. So that's all that's left for us.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's an interesting list that you both have.
It got dark again.
It got dark. The show, honestly, Parenthood gets dark at most turns, I would argue.
I'm going to have to write so many disclaimers when this goes up on iTunes this week. Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
Be a lot of dolphin sounds. You don't have a bucket list, Kaylor.
I never really had.
And yours is coming up, bro. You gotta
I never had a bucket list that I was like, oh, I want to accomplish these things. I remember when I first started working, like the first year was like, I wanted to book a national commercial. Then I wanted to book, Steve probably did the same thing of like, I wanted to book such and such. And I had career lists, But as far as like a bucket list, there's nothing where I was like, I want to swim with the sharks in the Great Barrier Reef. I want to climb the Couldn't care less. Couldn't. I don't
Oh,
know
there's
what.
places I want to go, but I'm just assuming we're gonna do that. Like, so it's
I
not like
like
I got
yeah,
to
we
do
can
for
travel.
that.
I've gone skydiving. Steve, have you skydived?
Never skydived. I suppose that's on my bucket list. Like I'd like to. I've bungee jumped.
Right. Do you want to take a submersible down to the Titanic and see what it's like down there?
I did until a couple days ago.
until this morning.
Just yeah,
I was like,
sort of a bummer. Do
you
you know
saw
what
the
I'm talking about,
news, Steve,
Steve?
right? Where the submersible that goes to visit the Titanic is gone. They've lost
I
it.
do know. I do know.
And here's where they lost me. They get screwed into the thing. Like literally, they get dead. They get like a DeWalt. No.
Okay, one of the guys,
like there's not a door.
and one of the guys is the CEO of the company.
The CEO of the company. There's another billionaire.
But there was like the one guy's the CEO of the company was warned that it wasn't safe.
Dude, I watched. There was a story on it on CBS Sunday morning, like a year ago, and the dude gets in. He goes, "Looks like everything's kind of jury rigged in this thing." And the one dude's like, "Yeah, I got this pipe at Home Depot and just kind of rammed it in. Seems to work just fine." I was like, "Dude." Even he was like, "All right, I guess." And he went down in it and came back up, but. Everyone else has been warned many times. I go, yeah, this doesn't seem that safe. I'm always amazed when people kind of have trust in things that you're like, you do understand the pressure at the bottom of the ocean. Can you comprehend that before we go down there?
Have you gone scuba diving?
I have, dude. And I actually was terrified. I had a bad experience. I got down my tank was empty and I got super scared. And then I finally conquered it and went back and got certified. And then I remember diving in Hawaii when I was in the Navy, and we were like 100 feet down. And I did not love it. I did not. I was super freaked out down there. I did not. It didn't.
And I forgot you were in the Navy because I was going to make a very mundane point, which is like you swim 15 feet down, and the water pressure on your ears is already hardcore. And you keep going.
Well, that's the thing with that sub. I mean, if it did. If there was any break in the integrity of the vessel, they would have been like imploded within a fraction of a second. It would have just gone.
It must. I don't want to speculate, but it is crazy that they just lost contact with that thing.
Yeah, it's not crazy at all. I'm not. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. But those are the kinds of things I think that are sometimes like on Everest. You know how many people are actually just still laying there, frozen on Everest, who didn't?
Yeah.
Every year, people go, this is the trip. And they have like 3 young kids at home. And then they go up there and everyone always goes, oh, at least he went out doing what he loved. Well, apparently he loved freezing to death at 20,000 feet because that's what just happened.
I'll say that the mountain climbers, I tend to have less sympathy for because of because they all talk about that, how like you're climbing up and down Mount Everest and you're just climbing over fucking dead bodies. I'm like, all right, well, there's a good chance. I mean, look, death is not a funny topic, but like for mountain climbers, I suppose is where I put the asterisks because I'm like, you're asking for it.
I just want to say, if everybody stopped when they came across a dead body, then the Goonies would have never happened because they came across Chester Copperpot almost immediately and they kept going.
Kate makes a great point.
If we made it further than him and he was a professional, we're on to something.
Kate makes a great point.
You know how some people, when they die, they want to be either cremated or like composted or whatever. I want a plane to drop me on the peak of Everest. Just drop me. How great would that be, right? And then like years and years from now, and I'd have like my name, I'd make sure I'd marked it, and I was right on the peak, dead. And then many years from now, they'd go, oh my God, this dude climbed all the way to the top of Everest before he killed him.
I think you should do it. And one caveat that should be in your will, I guess, is that they drop you blindly. Like they don't do like a spot check to make sure no one's down there, so that like for the incredible person that actually makes it to the top and his people in his party have died, he gets to the top, he's like, I did it, and gets hit by a fucking falling body.
That would be.
Don't climb mountains. Don't climb mountains.
I did jump out of a plane. I went skydiving. I've gone bungee jumping. What's the craziest thing you've ever done, Steve? You've done some crazy stuff. Upper New York Upper East Side, I'm guessing. There was some crazy shenanigans going on.
The craziest thing I ever did, which still like I went bungee jumping and that was fine. The craziest thing I did was my senior year in high school. One of my best friends who probably weighed 130 pounds, he and I, like, we drank a shit ton of whiskey and decided to hang each other. He lived up on like the 10th floor or the 12th floor in New York City. We decided to hang each other out of a window by our ankles. And the whole thing was you had to, like, you're basically in sit-up position. So you'd sit on the windowsill and the guy would like put his hands down on your shins. And then you'd bend out and your back of your head had to touch the side of the building. So you'd be totally upside down and then sit back up. And I think about that now. That's the one that, if I think about it, like laying in bed at night, like my heart starts pounding. And I'm like, what a life-changing thing that would have been for one of us. Because like, it was when you sat back up, that's when the torque really hit the person holding the ankles. That's the one that scared me the most.
That's a good one. I've hung outside of buildings. I've hung out the window like an idiot.
Are you blanket? Michael Jackson's baby? What the hell?
I don't even like talking about it. It's so
I have the same. I hung outside. This one girl I was at a party and I just was hanging by my one arm out the window on the 5th floor. And this girl was like, she was having an absolute meltdown and I was rolling laughing at her. And to this day, she probably tells the story of this crazy person who was hanging out. Yeah.
In college, the freshman year, we were really, really wasted, and we tied our bed sheets together and scaled from the 4th floor. And the guys that were holding the other end did not have a good hold on it, and I dropped like 2 floors and slammed into the girls' floor's window. And so they just open it up, and then I'm hanging on bed sheets just outside their window.
God,
Jesus Christ.
Women make different choices, I think.
Boys, we have done. I was in Bahrain one time when I was overseas, and these two.
Yeah, I wouldn't make that choice.
They were so close together, I could shimmy up, and I shimmied up 5 stories and climbed on top of the building.
That's actually what your daughter does.
And then I couldn't get back in. The building was locked, so I had to shimmy back down, and it was all like stucco, and I just tore. Yeah, it did. It's crazy, like the stupidest things we've always done, like riding in the back of a pickup truck to Vegas, like insane things where you're like, what? Why would I do that?
Also, when we're like, what's the craziest thing you ever did? You didn't start with, I went to Bahrain. Like, I enlisted in the Navy.
That's the craziest, but honorable.
Well, the craziest thing we've done tonight is keep Steve 6 minutes past when we were supposed to let him go. And his wife is she's probably just out of frame with no clothes on, is my guess. And there's a sandwich that's slowly getting cooler. He's got a fresh cocktail waiting for him. He's going to be just about there. All right, listen. July 20th, Tacoma FD season 4 starts. True TV.
Yes, with encore presentations the following week on TBS.
And then it eventually ends up on HBO Max in a year or so, I think. And Quasi is still up on Hulu, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's super funny.
Thank you.
And Rhino Dart. Oh, and by the way, if you're in the Nashville area or pretty soon everywhere, Rhino Dart. We should get some merch. We'll have to
rhinodart.com if you want some cool clothes. August 10th, Kaler, is episode 4. It's a Thursday. It's episode 4. That is when my son and Jamie Kaler's daughter act in an episode of Tacoma FD together.
Oh,
my daughter is in an episode of Tacoma FD, and I have not told that many people because she goes to a Catholic school, and it's a little blue.
It's about as blue
as you can go on television.
Like, I wonder what's going to happen to us.
I don't honestly, I haven't told anyone until just this second. I haven't told anyone that this was happening.
Like, we could get in trouble.
No,
I feel like my daughter.
You're not on air, but I'm saying
it's going to be, listen, it's going to be super. It's crazy.
They do worse than curse. I'm just going to say that.
It's stupid funny in the same way. Do you remember when they did The Landlord with Will Ferrell and the girl started swearing like a
girl? Yeah.
It's got some dark tone to it.
But it was also okay because it was his kid. Like, this is going to be okay because it's your kids.
Sure.
Yeah.
I actually, Steve, I've told you this before. If it wasn't you and it wasn't Tacoma FD and Heffernan and the boys, I would have never, ever, ever allowed that to happen. But I trusted you guys, and it's really funny, and it's a little blue. But you know what? We were just talking about this, that my daughter, I don't even know how to block. I'm going to have my 8-year-old figure out how to block herself from, and just go, listen, Claire, you don't trust me. You don't want to see this stuff. Block out any porn websites. She's like, well, can you do it, Dad? I don't know how. It's not possible. So
Don't
by
lie.
6th grade,
Call
they
me
all see hardcore porn. So what's the difference? There's a couple words said. It's a little dirty. It's pretty funny though.
It's a little dirty.
Can I?
That's all
I
the
just
stuff.
gotta pitch, not pitch, but I gotta just plug one thing. I'm in New York this Friday, stand-up show at New York Comedy Club at 8. At 7. Not sure what time it is. Go to thechristianharloff.com for tickets. New York Comedy Club in the East Village.
Be super fun. Yeah, that people should come out in New York to see it.
7 or 8. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, let's wrap this beast. Steve, I love you. Thank you for coming to play.
Thanks,
Please
Steve.
come again.
Thanks, guys.
That is it. I hope you guys had a great Father's Day. Do us a favor, share, subscribe, like, follow, write a review, give stars, do whatever you do to help us stay doing this. So,
oh God, he took, for the audio listeners, he took his first bite.
He
glorious.
did.
Mm.
If you were a food critic and you had to review that sandwich, let's hear it.
Fucking excellent. So goddamn good. A runny.
Welcome to Andrew Dice Clay Review Sandwiches. All right. Hey, I love all you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time here in the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.